Hey, True Life Church. Hey, everybody. I'm standing outside Bayhead Chapel here. We are going to delay the launch of our two in-person services a week. Instead of November 1st, this Sunday, kicking those two services off, we are going to kick them off on November 8th. We need to delay it a week. I'm going to give you the specific reasons why that is, but let me just speak generally. Bottom line is, we want to make sure that when we do this, when we have two services, that we are doing it effectively and we are doing it in a safe way. So we want to be effective for the people who are gathering in person and effective for those who are continuing to watch online. And then we also want to make sure things are safe. We want to make sure we're in full compliance with the law, and we also want to make sure that things are just safe for the people who are here. So people are honking. I want to make sure they're not honking at me. And so that's why we're delaying. So now I'll go into the specifics. This section right here is where we're going to have a table. You're going to come, you're going to park on the side streets. There's a side street there, there's a side street there, and then down the street, down Bridge Ave, about a block and a half down is a municipal building, and we can use the parking lot there, and then you can walk a block and a half. We have a limit, 60 adults in the sanctuary, plus kids. Kids can kind of sit with their families in a little social distance bubble, so the kids won't count, especially since some of them are going to be dismissed to their classroom. But 60 adults will be the max for each service, 9, 15, and 11. How we register people is still being figured out. We are realizing that we are definitely going to need to register kids ahead of time. We're figuring that out as well. So that's one thing that we need time to figure out. What we don't want to happen is having a bunch of people here at 9:15 who some of whom maybe traveled from Manchester and then need to get turned away and say, listen, you got to wait for the 11, go grab a breakfast or something, and them saying, well, I can't, I'm meeting my family, and I got this or I got that. We want to reduce that as much as possible, so we're figuring that out. We are going to give out bracelets at this table. That's a red or a yellow bracelet. We're not going to be doing green. Here's why we're not going to be doing green. We don't want this to be like a bunch of cliques. Oh, there's the green clique having fun, hugging each other, and then the reds and the yellows are feeling a little awkward. We're just going to give out red and yellow. Red means, definitely back up off me, keep your distance, and yellow means, hey, we're being cautious, a little fist bump. You want to hug and do the green stuff? Do it outside, right? We're not doing that in the building. Here on a Sunday morning, we're asking those of you who are on the super comfortable end to bend to those who are on the cautious end, especially because it's the law. We have to, and we're in somebody else's building. And we had to submit a list of guidelines that we're going to be following in order to get this building. So that's why we're asking those of you who are on the comfortable end to bend. Here, that's the group that submits to the other group. Now, our life groups and watch parties, we've got a lot of them who are on the comfortable end and are not wearing masks, and we're not managing that. We're allowing life groups to make their own decisions. So we have kind of a little bit of both extremes going on in our church. But Sunday mornings, and really any event that's happening at this building, any ministry event that includes youth on Monday night, has to be in full compliance with masks, and I'll walk you through some of that. Got to have masks on in here. Got to make sure we're wearing masks at all times. And I know some people that, hey, I saw people on Sunday wearing masks and they weren't wearing them right. That's true. A lot of folks in our church are not used to wearing masks. I'm not used to it. I actually walked into a coffee shop just the other day forgetting to wear a mask. And they were like, whoa, get the mask on. And I just forgot. There's a lot of folks. So those of you who are asking you guys to be patient with those of us who are not used to wearing masks all day long at work or at school. So that's another reason why we're delaying it a week. We want to make sure that we are practicing that safely and that we got the right masks on and we're keeping them up on the nose, because what we don't want is to have two services and people who are vulnerable looking around and seeing half of our leaders having masks underneath their noses, not because they're being rebellious, just because they're not used to it. So that's one thing that we need to make sure we got down. That's right. There's some hand sanitizer stations throughout the sanctuary. Give yourself a little squirt there. Right over here in the corner, we're going to have a nursing mom section, like we used to have in the school. We want to get that ready. We want to make sure that's up. That's another reason why we're delaying it a week. We have our tech issues. Internet is actually not being installed until November 2nd. So we're going to try to stream live this week by running a cord from the parsonage over there where our family lives. But because it's not a guarantee, that's another reason we're delaying it until November 8th. When we know we don't want to have two services with half our community here and the other half online unable to tune in. We want to launch this together with both the in-person folks and the online community. We want to do this together. We're moving forward in unity. That's another reason why we're delaying this. Now, here's the seating. They already have for us, Bayhead Chapel already has these signs, and they got the spaces. So it's 60 individuals, but not including kids, because as you can see, whole families can sit together in a row, and they don't have to be spaced out. The only time when people are allowed to take their masks off is when they're on this stage. So if I'm preaching, the band is leading worship, somebody gets up to make an announcement, to do a prayer, it's got to be on the stage because the stage is far enough away from the first row to be safe according to the guidelines. What we're going to do this week is we're going to actually do another dry run. We're going to hopefully stream online so everybody can tune in. We're going to do another dry run, not just our pastoral team and our board. We're also going to have our volunteers join us. Those of you who signed up to volunteer on a Sunday, which there's not a whole lot of slots for. It's basically kids and greeting right now, kids ministry and greeting. Those of you who signed up, you're going to be getting contacted by either April or Jess Doughty about coming this Sunday, and we're going to walk you through some of the protocols, answer some questions, and just make sure that we're clear, our volunteers are clear on what we're doing. Again, we want to put the safety of people first. We want to make sure we're in full compliance with the law, and we want to make sure things are effective. So that's why we're doing that. We're just realizing that another dry run with volunteers is going to be super helpful. If you want to volunteer, if you want to get on the schedule of twice a month, 3 times a month, or 4 times a month, you can email info@truelifenj.com or fill out that church survey that we put out just the other day. So after some time in worship, the plan is to dismiss our kids. They're going to be dismissed out this back door here. If you missed the tour from April on Sunday, I'm going to take you through there. Parents, you're not going to follow them out. We're gonna bring the kids up here, and the kids volunteers are gonna walk them out. They're gonna be temperature checked, most likely. We're still evaluating some of our protocol, but most likely the kids who are going into their classroom are gonna be temperature checked. Since social distancing is hard with the kids, they gotta wear a mask, of course. Any kid over 3 has to wear a mask. They're gonna get a squirt of hand sanitizer before they enter this room over here, this building over here. They're going to get a squirt of hand sanitizer. We're going to set this room up. Miss April and the team are going to set this room up so that toddlers are going to have a little section. We've got a limit on the amount of toddlers. And then on the other side of the room are going to be preschool and elementary. And we're going to do lessons for them. The lessons are actually going to correspond to the Sunday sermons. And again, another reason that we're going to delay this a week is so that we can just have this room set up. We're going to have a few of the volunteers' kids in here, which includes my kids, just to see how this works, just to get a few, just to get a feel for that a little bit, see what we need to do with the bathroom protocol. The bathrooms are back here. They are the only bathrooms that we're able to use. So if you need to use the bathroom from the sanctuary, you got to walk over here. So we want to make sure there's panel doors. We're separating people coming in and out from the kids. So there's just more logistics than we thought that we have to make sure we got down before we launch our 2 services. I know you guys understand that. Again, we want to be safe. We want to be in compliance with the law. We want to be effective. I will say this. There's a lot of questions about the COVID precautions. Some of you are going to think we're not being strict enough. I'm already getting those emails. And some of you are going to think it's too much. Like, whoa, overboard, man. Holy cow, we just went from one extreme to the other, and that's what one person said. I understand that. Our board, our executive team, is evaluating these things on a regular basis. That's the plan. We're going to be constantly evaluating this. It's always going to be this tension. We don't want to tie our hands up too much, but we got to be safe. We got to be in compliance with the law. We got to be faithful stewards of this property that we have here. We've got to make sure we're keeping track of the people who are coming, so that if something was to happen, we have records of that. So there's just a lot to think about. We need to be able to say to our insurance company that we're doing everything that we can do within reason. And honestly, it's not just about people's health safety. It's also, there's a number of people in our church community who have to go into work and state whether or not they've been in an environment that was not compliant with the law. And if that's the case, and we want our people to be honest, and if that's the case, if they have to say, you know what, I was at an event and they were all like not wearing masks and stuff, they can't go into work. They have to quarantine themselves. And if they have to do that, some of them have to, their pay is docked. And others are business owners, and that means their business might need to shut down. So that's another reason why we need to be in full compliance. We need to be safe. We need to be faithful stewards here. We may not agree with the laws right now. That's a whole nother story. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. But let's pick and choose our battles. Our primary battle is for the gospel of Jesus. We want to make sure as many people as possible can come, can hear the gospel, can invite their friends, can be together, and we want to make sure the gospel of Jesus is going forth. That's the main thing I want to make sure we're communicating, not the arguments for and against wearing masks. That's where we're at. Again, we're going to be constantly evaluating these precautions. If you have an opinion about that or a question, you can send an email to our board. All their emails are on our website under leadership. Or you can send an email to info@truelifenj.com, and we will just forward that email over to our board. Guys, I hope this all makes sense to you. Feel free to, again, just shoot us any questions, info@truelifenj.com. And I'm looking forward to November 8th. I don't think it's going to get delayed again. So tune in online this Sunday, unless you are a scheduled volunteer. And it's actually Election Sunday. I'm going to be preaching a message called Heroes, Enemies, and Pawns about the election. We're going to take a break from our parable study. So, all right, guys, the bell's ringing over there. I'm going to go find out what that means. Thanks.